Welcome to Toastmasters Club Officer Training. I'm experimenting with some tips for club executive members, specifically for pathways. Now, I've been a pathways guide, a pathways mentor, a pathways coordinator, and I have completed 4 of my paths in the Pathways program and currently working on 2 more. I've also completed the Pathways mentoring program. I'm going to share with you today 10 tips on how you, as an executive team member, can help your members succeed in pathways. I'll share my screen with you. I've been thinking lately about the steps that you could take that will help your club members gain more confidence and have success in their Pathways program. We should now be fairly familiar with the Pathways navigation in Basecamp, that familiar place on Toastmasters International, where we go to find our projects. But this presentation is more about how you can help individual members get to the point where they complete a project and complete their paths, and you can help them through the whole process. So the first step, you need to communicate with the members. And don't just leave that to the VP of Education. Each of the executives can be doing this to ensure that each member is feeling supported in their journey through their path projects. Sorts of things that you would want to find out from those members is, what are their goals? What do they want to achieve through their pathways projects? And what projects do they wish to complete in a period of time, perhaps the next few months till the end of this Toastmasters year? Secondly, each executive member needs to be very knowledgeable and confident and skillful in navigation through the Pathways program. You'll need to know how to help others get to their pathways, open up their transcripts, find their projects, work through the projects, download checklists, and a whole host of things, including evaluation resources. These are the sorts of questions that your members will ask of you. So first and second, communicate and then know how to navigate in pathways and how to help those members when they ask those questions. Pathways has changed a little in its navigation, and it's so much simpler now. The third thing that I suggest and highly recommend for you to do is to complete the Pathways mentoring program. I completed this in 2018, judging by that certificate. It's available for anyone in the Pathways program who is a Toastmaster, who has completed levels 1 and 2. I really recommend this program for those who want to help others in their club, and specifically for those of you who are on your executive teams. You'll need to know the best methods for mentoring your members, or how to perhaps start a mentoring program within your club. This particular path will help you with that. gives you practice and asks you to mentor others for a longer period of time and to reflect on that learning to share with others. So the Pathways Mentoring Program comes as a separate piece once you've completed levels 1 and 2 in any path. The next step is to assist the members in the process of requesting their speeches. Most of the projects within their path will require a 5 to 7 minute speech. The member works through the project and finds out what they have to do. One of the things you should be alerting them to is the use of the project checklist, which can be found within the online class for their projects. The project checklist is a really important tool for them to work through. Once they're ready with their project, they know what they have to do, they've researched, they've built up their resources, they now need your help in requesting time at the meeting for their speeches. Many clubs use club management tools like Free Toast Host or Easy Speak or WordPress for Toastmasters. Your role as an executive is to help each member to request their speech in such a way that is equitable, fair, and democratic for everyone in the club. If your club is small, there probably isn't a lot of competition for speaking spots from each meeting forward. But if your club is large in number, then the competition to gain a spot for speaking at a very busy meeting will be fierce. So your job as an executive is to assist the members to request those speeches in advance. My recommendation is that you suggest to the member that they plot their program speeches across a period of months and request them in advance. The next step for you in helping the members is about completing their projects. Some of this is technical, and this is where you'll need your navigating skills in Basecamp. You'll need to be able to tell them that you need to launch your project. The first button that they'll see in that place is activate. Once it's activated, it can be launched. They then read through the project, learn, deliver a speech, and then they need to come back, launch it again, and move to the end of the project for assess their skills after. Now, this is an essential trigger to the system, the Pathways system, that lets them know that they have completed that project. As you tell your members to work through each level, they do the same thing for each project. Then at the end of that level, they need to do a level completion. And at that point, they need to communicate back with you about that event having been and gone. This could be a simple phone call, or it could be an email. You don't need to always rely on the fact that either one of your Basecamp managers, that is the president, VPE, or secretary, will remember to go to Basecamp as a Basecamp manager to see which of those projects completions are pending. That is the way in which it's done, of course, but we're all busy. We need to make sure that we know that it's there ready to go. So do recommend to your members that once they've done assess their skills after, etc. in Basecamp, communicate with you to let them know that they have finished. Step number 6 is your job as the Basecamp manager to verify the project and path completions and then to add to the Club Central. The first part, the verification process, needs to be done by a Basecamp manager, as I mentioned, president, VPE or secretary, and they can see which paths are in progress when they go in as a Basecamp manager. They can also look up individuals' progress and look at those completions pending. When it's time for the club to enter that record to Club Central, any one of your officers can do that. So you'll need to know how to work within the system at Toastmasters.org for accessing Club Central as an executive team member. Because it's not until that record has been placed with Toastmasters that it is complete. Step 7 is really about ways in which you can prepare and display members' path progress. Now, this could be done quite simply at the beginning of any meeting where the report from the VPE tells the club members who has completed various projects, levels, or perhaps a path. If you want to keep your records in a print-based manner, such as this chart that you can purchase from Toastmasters.org shop, then you can be writing the record onto that chart and fixing it to a wall in your meeting venue. In a moment, I'll show you other ways in which you can record path progress. But one of the things that I think is necessary is to keep all club members aware of who's done what and who is the likely person to ask for help from. As an executive team member, one of your tasks is to check the dashboard data for your club, which means going to Toastmasters International and going to their dashboards. So if you go to Google and put in Toastmaster dashboards, it will allow you to select your district and to view either division and area performance or club performance. And you can filter down to your club to find out what goals have been met, which ones are yet to be done, and where the emphasis needs to be to improve the club's progress through pathways. Tip 9 is where to add details for your club pathways records. There is a wonderful spreadsheet created by Simon Cornwall in District 69, and it's a spreadsheet that you can use to track the achievements in pathways of each member. At the end of this presentation, I'll put a link to that one for you. It's been set up so that when you add the person's name in the left-hand column, the drop-down button for the path currently being worked on will list all 11 paths. You select from that, and then in the next one, You can choose the level currently being worked on through the next drop-down list, and finally the actual project currently being worked on. And you can keep going like that. If the person has more than one path going at the same time, just add another line for them. This is a great tool for adding details about your club progress. You can then share that with everyone as a document in perhaps Google Doc, and you could share that information at your club meeting. The final thing for you to do is to really celebrate the achievements in pathways of every member of your club. Doesn't matter if they're just doing level 1 or if they're up to level 5. It's really important for them to feel supported and for their achievements to be rewarded. You might, for example, purchase one of these badges on a lanyard for pathways completions. Lots of different ways that we celebrate achievements, of course, and you'll have your own way in your club. These are just a couple of suggestions from me. So there we have it, 10 steps for the club executive team members to help their club to pathways success. Stop sharing now and come back to you. I'm using StreamYard today, which enables me to share directly to YouTube, to Facebook, to LinkedIn, and other social media. Today I am linking only with YouTube, and I will put the link to this event underneath when I post to my Facebook groups. So thank you very much for joining me today and for listening, and I wish you good luck in your club officer training, and specifically for executives in helping their club members succeed in pathways.